All right. Pepper, are you ready? I'm going to hand it off. Okay. So you should have presenter mode, so you can do whatever you need to do. And you can start wherever you want, whenever you want. Is your mic up?
Hello?
Hello. Gotcha.
Yep. Okay, you can hear me?
Yep.
Great. Okay. My name is Colleen Pavan. I am known as Peppertsuki on Twitter and other places. And I make a lot of games on... Yes?
No, I think that was just weird noise. It's cool.
Sorry. Okay. I make a lot of personal games and from all over the place. And my main job is writer for visual novels for Studio Lupisoft. And what I want to talk about is the idea of giving yourself the chance to do a little bit of everything when it comes to visual novel design. And what I mean by that is, while you may have your own specific thing that you do when you make visual novels, like for me it's writing, for other people maybe doing art, doing animation, maybe doing music and stuff like that, I would encourage you, when you have the time, to sit down and try your hand at doing something you don't usually do. And yes, I do know that there are some people who actually do everything for their visual novels, and that's fine. I support that. There's been a lot of really cool things, visual novels and otherwise, that have been done by just one person. But for those of you who mostly focus on one particular aspect of the development process, I want to encourage you to try doing a bit more. And by that, when I say a bit more, I don't mean you need to take over your entire team's development. You don't need to kick out your artists and your writers and do everything yourself and all that. You can simply just do something small that can help out in ways. For example, earlier there was the UI presentation. The presenter there mentioned that she started with her UI plans was basically just a circle and a rectangle. And it's okay to just do that if that's what your comfort level is with UI work. Do that, bring it up with other members of the team, and help work it out. So I think one of the big things that doing this can do is helps you integrate yourself a little bit more with the team. Again, if you overdo it, you might start pissing them off, so be careful there. But it allows you to understand a bit more about what is going into each part of the game you're working on, beyond just what you do normally. And I think another thing, maybe even more important, is that for what you do normally, it can be a really powerful way of improving your main focus. Most recently, I worked on a game that I had already written, and the main thing we were doing with that is going back and adding new animations. At least that was my role. And I had done some animation stuff before, and when I say animation, I mean ATL, and but nothing to this level. And it was pretty interesting for me to try and work with it and see how adding a complex animation in a certain spot changed the story and changed what words I should have on the screen. So like, if I have a character jumping around and you can see their sprite doing that, then you don't need to say that as a narrator. You can just let the visuals speak for themselves. And you can do the same thing with music and sound effects. And so I think it's a really important thing to explore that for yourself when you can, to just take something that you haven't done before, I'm mostly speaking from a writer's perspective. So for me, if I want to think more about incorporating visuals into the visual novels that I'm working on, then I might try doing something like writing a scene for the game I'm working on and not include any narration as I write. Maybe I'll add some later, but for at the start, I'll do just dialogue and descriptions of how I imagine the scene. So it would just be little comments of character moves here, there's an image of something important there, sound effect, etc. And so give that a try. I think that's a really good method for writers. And you can also try just doodling a bit. You don't necessarily have to be like this great artist to contribute. Even if you just draw a really, really, really rough doodle of what you think a character might look like, that can help you visualize them in your head. And you can talk to the artists who are going to draw the sprite that appears in-game and stuff like that. And I think it can come, you can do this from being an artist first and moving to writing too. I'm not quite as familiar with that, but I think there are options there, and I think there's options for looking into music and stuff too. So I strongly suggest that every now and then you just give yourself a little time to do something new. You don't have to be perfect at it. You don't even have to be good at it. Just give yourself a bit more experience in visual novel creation as a whole rather than a single part. All right, and that's my talk. Any questions?
Awesome. Let's see. You guys have any questions? Because I remember when I translate, I also do a thing where I pay attention to what's actually being used, like voice clips and other things, because then I can lean on those and not have to write it into the translation. There's sometimes it feels sketchy, sometimes it works. You know, because people can't understand what's being said, so there's a limit to it.
What are some resources you prefer for immersing into other non-writing fields? Honestly, for me, it's just an online notebook and a pencil to draw with. That's been my main thing. The other thing, when I do like programming and stuff, I will just kind of mess around there with some tutorials or try to do something in ATL. So I don't have a lot of like really big, amazing resources, but sometimes just paper and pencil is fine. As for scratch audio and voice acting, that's stuff I haven't done yet. I might look into it sometime, but I'm not too sure about that just yet. And yeah, for visual novel creation, I do try to think of it as less of a written medium and yeah, more holistic. And I do like the idea of the more you know about the different parts that go into it, the more you can bring them together and let them communicate with each other to let them boost each other in interesting ways that I think only a visual novel can. And yes, I've also had the same thought that the ends are basically stage plays. All right, I have a couple more minutes. Anything else?
A lot of these are comments. But I was actually surprised because like when Kyo Nachi's talk popped up and he's like, yeah, he did a lot of everything. So he understood the teams. And I'm like, hey, someone's talking that. Don't steal this topic.
Do I dissect the ends I like? I dissect everything I like or don't like. Maybe a bit too much, but it is generally a good idea to think about what it is that really resonates with you about the works you enjoy, and also sometimes to think about the things that either pissed you off or let you down and what you could do better. So Yeah, it can be a good idea to do that. Just don't do it so much that you just can't draw anything anymore. That's a problem I have and I'm working through. I
Okay.
think that's my time.
Yep.
If you guys have questions, you can feel free to PM me.
Yep. And